Welcome to episode 69 of the Any Spartan Show. This comes hot off the trails of episode 68, less than 24 hours. And in this episode, Paul and Sandy, we're talking to Rob Butler of Shale Hill. Polar Bear Challenge, one of our favourite races of the whole year, is right around the corner. And some big changes. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to the Any Spartan Show. This episode is coming back to back from our last episode. But on this show, we have the one and only Rob Butler of Shale Hill. We are, a week and a couple of days away from Polar Bear Challenge. And a lot is changing. So we figured it was a good opportunity to get Rob on. Let's talk about some of the new stuff, the new course, and what's going on up at Shale Hill in 8 days, 10 days, something like that.
Yeah, about that. That sounds about right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. So, for those who don't know, let's start the basics. So, obviously, Shale Hill, I think everybody will know by now, is a fixed venue course up in Benson, Vermont, about half an hour away from Killington, an easy drive. And Polar Bear Challenge is your signature 8 hours in the winter, in February, in the cold, in the snow. round and round and round in circles.
Lots of cold, lots of obstacles, and lots of food.
All the
Lots of bacon.
Yeah, bacon.
Lots
No
of
one cares
bacon,
about the
that's
food.
right.
We care about the bacon. It's all about it. So let's start with the important question. Will there be bacon?
There will absolutely be bacon.
Wonderful.
You know,
We'll
just
come
like
back to
always, the same delicious bacon we have every year by the same vendor we always use. So, yep, that'll be here, and
All right, convince me.
along
I'm
with a
in.
whole bunch of other good stuff.
I think we can end the show right here, right, Sandy?
Is that it?
I'd like to
that
hear a
was
little
good.
bit about the changes.
Oh, yeah,
Keep
there's some
going.
other stuff too. Okay. So, Rob, you've been teasing for the last few weeks that there's going to be a whole new course layout, a new route around the course, which I think Sandy's probably going to be more affected than anyone else because Sandy's capable of doing that course in her sleep in the dark without thinking about it. So, where is she going to go wrong?
Well, I think that Sandy is going to be one of our people like Sandy and herself who are so used to the course are probably going to have more trouble this race than someone who has never been here before.
Oh, good.
So we
Absolutely.
are marking the course like crazy just for you people because I think a new person's going to come in and not have any idea where they're going, and it's going to just be normal to them. But you're going to see all of the same obstacles, but in a completely different order.
Okay.
So we have changed the course around. I am trying to introduce you to some of the more difficult obstacles a little bit earlier in the course so that you have a little bit more energy. And we've changed some things up, as Jill posted about a week and a half ago or so. Our famous uphill monkey bars are now going to be our famous downhill monkey bars. So
That's fun.
it's going to give a lot of people an opportunity to try things that they just don't even play with normally when they try the course. They get to the monkey bars and they just say, "Oh, I just can't even try it," so they move on. But this will give something fun and exciting for them to do. The Tarzan ropes are going to come in much earlier in the course, so you'll have a much better chance at accomplishing those. You'll be much fresher and much stronger at that point. We've added a little bit of distance to the course. We've added one section that's going to, hopefully, if we get it all nailed down correctly tomorrow, it will offer a nice long uphill climb. But it's also going to add just a little bit of distance to the course. Yeah. You're welcome. We're also adding a couple new obstacles this week. You'll see some. I'm not going to get into what they are, but they're going to be some hanging obstacles, of course, because that's what we do here.
Yeah.
And people will like what we have. Sandy will really like one of the obstacles we've added. I will tell you what this one is. We're adding in some gymnast rings, about a 44-foot long run of gymnast rings. So that should be fun.
That's right up your street, Sandy.
And
Hopefully my shoulder can handle it.
I hope so. I hope a lot of people can handle it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think the new course will offer a whole new challenge for people. It's going to be an exciting event, and we've changed something that people really love, and I don't want people to be upset about it, but we have changed the penalty that we're going to be doing with the polar bear this year.
Well,
So normally we
done
have
the same thing 2 years in a row, so It's not like people can be upset.
That's true. The penalty process is different, however. You used to, if you were not able to complete an obstacle, you would take a chip at that obstacle, and you would move on, and then when you came into the end, right before you crossed the finish line, you would have to turn those chips in and trade them in for your penalties.
Which were always
now
a variety
we're doing something
of ridiculous and entertaining things, right? I mean, this
correct.
wasn't like, let's do 20 burpees, 30 burpees. These were sledgehammers to cars, sledding down hills, eating saltine crackers. They were brutal.
Yes, they were fun and they were brutal. And if you had a good roll of the dice, you got lucky. And if you had a bad roll of the dice, you didn't get quite so lucky.
You were there for a while.
So this year,
That is very true.
So this year we're gonna only have the chip draw at 2 of the obstacles.
Okay.
Okay. So those two, and I'm not gonna tell you which 2 obstacles, but they will make sense to you when you get here. So at those 2 obstacles, if you fail to complete them, you will take a chip and you will turn it in at the end, just like every other year.
Okay.
However, at the rest of the obstacles, if you do not complete the obstacle, you have to turn around and run the course backwards to the last obstacle that you successfully completed. Recomplete that obstacle, then move forward past the obstacle you were unable to complete. So this is going to offer a challenge for people. It's going to offer some excitement because you'll be able to pass. You're going to be passing people more often. You're going to see more faces more often. I think it's going to make the race fun, challenging, and a little twist to it. So some obstacles, if you fail, you might have to go back 500 feet. You might have to go back 1/8 of a mile. It just depends on which obstacle it is and what you completed last.
Huh. So when you get to an obstacle and you fail the obstacle and you go back and redo the previous obstacle, do you then try again or do you just trot right past it? Your penalty was the previous obstacle.
The penalty was going back and completing the previous
obstacle. So you don't retry it. Now, can you stand?
So you do not have to You don't have to go. You don't have to come back to the one you failed and retry it. Now you get multiple opportunities to try an obstacle. So if you happen to fail the first time, it does not mean you have to turn around and run backwards. You can hop back on the obstacle and give it another go.
Okay.
So it's just that those rules here still apply. You can try it as many times as you like, as long as you're not holding up a racer behind you.
And then when you've decided that these ridiculous things are not for me, you go back, redo the previous obstacle, and move on.
That is correct.
Interesting.
So that doesn't create an endless loop of, okay, I'm now stuck at these 2 obstacles for 8 hours.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think some people were fearful of that. And some people were saying, well, geez, that 6.5 mile loop is going to turn into 13 miles pretty fast. Yeah. Somebody sent me an email and says, well, what happens when I end up back at the start line?
So whenever rules like this come up or new rules like this come up, I think the athletes immediately start going through all the possible permeations and loopholes that they possibly can. So what if the previous obstacle was something pretty straightforward, like a 4-foot wall? Do you get to go back, jump the 4-foot wall, and carry on and skip the really hard obstacle? Okay, so you have to make a decision how many times you want to retry it versus whether it's quicker to just turn around, hop a wall, and carry on.
That's correct. And the way I have the course laid out, I've done some pretty good planning.
Okay, so that's not going to happen.
If you were to fail the Tarzan ropes, you have to go back to the previous obstacle, which I'm not going to tell you what it is because it's not in any kind of order that you're used to.
Oh no!
But you'll have to go back to that previous obstacle, and that previous obstacle is relatively easy. However, it's quite a distance. So your time penalty makes up for the fact that you're getting away with an easy obstacle.
Got it.
So we tried to equate, because someone who can complete the Tarzan ropes, for example, has to exert quite a bit of energy in order to do that. Mm-hmm. So I want you to have to exert that similar amount of energy in some fashion. So here you run backwards and then you come back past it and you move on. So I think that it's going to be exciting. I'm curious to see how it works. I think people will like it. And I think that the two-way traffic situation will be fun on the course. I mean, consider this: if you're in first place in your division, for example, and someone's hot on your heels, and you fail that obstacle, and you have to run back past the person who's in second place, how is that going to affect those 2 front runners? Or if you're in 5th place and you're competing for 5th and 6th, I mean, it's going to be an adrenaline rush for one, and maybe an adrenaline rush for both people. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's different. What's that?
I agree. I think it's going to be fun too. And I think it's a very clever way of doing something different, but that still is very equitable and fair.
I think it's really fair. And we're still going to have some fun stuff up at the end. So when you come in, if you happen to fail one of the couple of obstacles that we have the chips at, you will be able to turn them in and claim your penalties. I will have to say there are not going to be any free rides at penalties this year.
Okay.
So even there will be no lucky roll of the dice.
You're going to get something no matter what.
You're going to get something. They may not be that difficult, but you're going to get something.
Now, you mentioned that it's a new distance. What kind of distance do you think it's going to clock in at?
Well, we're going to be probably just south of 7 miles.
All right, so that's not too terrible.
Not a lot different. Not a lot different, but and that's if we can get everything laid out correctly tomorrow. We're having a little bit of a question mark on one part of the course, which we're dealing with, and hopefully we'll get that straightened out tomorrow. Okay. So as soon as we know it and everything's laid out tomorrow, I will run the whole thing and give you guys a mileage count on it.
Now, going forward, you always had the 10K loop and a 5K option. Is there? I mean, obviously for Polar Bear Challenge, the race is the whole loop, but is there room in here or is there wiggle room to squeeze in a short option for people who come up for training or casual runners?
Yep, this new course that we have laid out is the way it's broken up is I think there's 5 independent little loops, if you will. So we can the way it's laid out now, I should be able to pull 1, 2, or 3 loops together to generate different distances. So if someone wants to come out for a short loop, like a 1.5 mile loop, we should be able to give them a pretty good variation of obstacles in a 1.5 mile loop. And then we could go up to a 5K and then something in between a 5K and the full loop. So we should be able to give them 3 or 4 different options to do. That will not all be laid out for the polar bear, but I have all that stuff in the planning.
Yeah.
So the polar bear is going to be really, really well marked because we are changing everything up. We also need to keep track of where we are because I'm going to get confused, I'm sure, when I start seeing runners. But Sandy's going to be the primary. Sandy and her and those type of people who've been here for so many times, and you, Paul, for example, you guys know the course inside out. So you're going to see some of the same things, and you're going to see all the same obstacles, and you're going to see in some sections you're going through a series of obstacles in exactly the same order as you used to, but it's just for just a chunk of the race, and then you get diverted off into a new direction. So I think you're going to find it's fun. I think you're going to enjoy it.
We're going to be the ones wandering around lost at 8 hours trying to figure out where the course is and where we're supposed to be. And
Nah. At the speed I'm going at, I'll have time to look for markings.
So
we have about I think we bought 15,000 feet of tape, so I think we're okay.
I think you're probably
we have lots and lots of stakes and tape, so I think you'll see more tape on Shale Hill next week than you have seen in probably ever.
How's the?
But we're going to have it really well marked. We're going to lay it out, and this is going to be kind of a trial run for this concept too. I don't think that the penalty concept could work at a larger venue, but for our venue, I think it will work fun, and I think it'll be nice.
How's the snow situation?
Well, the snow situation is nil. We have almost no snow. We had a ton of snow up until last week, and we got a lot of rain.
Yeah.
Everything's still pretty white, but it's like a frozen solid white. So you're going to want to wear some studded footwear, and you're going to want to dress for a fast race. I think you're going to be the ground speed's really quick. You can really move. And it's not going to be like the years when you have deep snow and you can hardly move along. It's going to be a nice fast pace if you want that.
Luckily, in 5 years, we've only had 1 year that was that bad, where it was just so horrendous.
It was snowshoe weather. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. I remember that was awful. Oh.
It was awful.
It was incredibly bad. But we have. But we are supposed to get snow. I think there's snow in the forecast the Friday night before the race, so it might give us just a little bit of powder on top of the ice. So that should be really for a nice, slippery, fun time.
Woohoo! Have you taken?
We've also.
Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say we also have added a warming hut out on the course at the top of Shale Hill.
Oh.
We just put in a little cabin, and there's going to be heat in there. So if you get chilly, you can jump inside and warm up.
Oh, that's
so fantastic. That's a new feature for this year on the course, and that cabin is the first of hopefully some more, and we're going to have them coming up next year. We're going to have them here for rent. So you can come here and stay on site. It's camping, but they're nice cabins. They'll have a bed or two in each one, and people can come and crash right on the course.
Clever.
And hang out for the weekend or hang out for the week. So it should be fun.
All right, so what I was going to ask, one question and then one comment. So my question is, have you taken a look at the entrant list to see how many names you recognize and how many newbies, first-timers are going to be there?
Well, I have not looked at the list, but Jill and I just talked about that this evening, and she said that there are quite a few names on there that she does not recognize at all.
Good.
So that would indicate that we're getting quite a few new people. We have quite a big turnout coming in from Canada again.
Good.
Awesome.
We see a lot.
Yeah, our Canadian contingent's really working out pretty well there. It's growing and becoming more and more popular with them because we're so close to Canada. I mean, it's really not a far drive for them at all. It's 2 to 3 hours, and when they're here, just like you guys. It's not very far at all.
I like
our
how
turnouts.
You keep making Ray's blog and his Facebook posts going through customs and people going, you're going to Shale Hill again, huh?
Yes,
so
indeed.
Apparently all the customs officers know that Ray comes up for training regularly.
That's awesome.
Yes, they do. At least it would appear that way. No, he's been great for us, and you guys have been great. Without all you out there rooting for us and pushing our name, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are. So thank you for all that. We really appreciate it.
All right.
You had a comment, Sandy?
And I said I had a comment, yes, and that is we're doing all this talking about penalties, but here at the end, I want to remind those of you guys who are listening to this that if you are signing up for Journeyman, you do not have to worry about the penalties. So all this discussion is dependent upon how you sign up for the event. So just a quick reminder, because I know at least one person's going to be thinking, oh, wait, I didn't think so. We'll clarify that for you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you bringing that up. Yes, as a Journeyman, that the rules do not change. You still do kind of what you want to do. Go out and have a good time and enjoy the course and try some things that you may not normally want to try or at a bigger race because there's too many people on an obstacle. Here you're going to have some time to yourself to play and attempt things that you may not attempt at a normal race series. So, or at another race series.
Not one shot and you're done.
Yeah.
Nope. No, you can sit there and play on it as long as you need to. Figure it out.
As long as you're not interfering with another racer coming up behind you, you're good to go.
So we were having this conversation.
We have a couple.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Paul.
We were having this conversation on yesterday's podcast, but the wheelbarrow obstacle. So is that early or late in this new course? That was a conversation we had yesterday.
That is midway in the course now.
Is that good or bad, Sandy?
That obstacle is fine. I just know that I have to bring something to protect my hands from the cold of the steel handles, because that's what interferes with me doing the obstacle more than anything else is the fact that the handles are painful for someone with Raynaud's like I have. My circulation is not the best.
Yeah, when it's chilly, you definitely need to have gloves on that one. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that obstacle has changed a little bit, and I think you'll be happier with the new layout of that particular obstacle. So that'll be good. Let me put it to you this way: I didn't lay that obstacle out this time. Someone else did. So you may find that it's
a little easier.
It's more loving than if I were to have set it up.
For those of you guys who are listening to this who know Rob, you're chuckling just along with us right now. Rob, who doesn't always understand that, yes, mere mortals are coming out to do his course.
But I really do believe you're going to enjoy the way we have it laid out now, and I think that it's going to give people an opportunity to try some things earlier on, because everybody always says, well, if this came in earlier in the course, I think I could handle it. So now we'll see if that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to try it. And the monkey bar section, I think people are going to really, really enjoy. I have a couple little surprises down there for you, but I think you're going to enjoy the new section, the new way it's laid out. And I hope everyone really has a great time, and that's what we're here for. And this particular race especially is just supposed to be a really good time. Have a little bit of a party, have a little bit some fun out on the course, challenge yourself a bit, and really just have fun with it.
And this is
it's cold, it's winter time, and we're not here to make millions of bucks. We're here to have a good time. So,
and it's year 6, and I think Jill posted the other day, if you haven't registered yet, if you have a medal from a previous polar bear, that's what 5.
That ended.
Oh, it did. Oh, okay.
All right. Never mind. The discount period is done. Am I right, Rob?
You missed out.
You were talking to the wrong person. I do not know the answer to that. Hey, Jill. Do they still get their 5% medal discount? That ended last Monday.
There you go.
That's what I thought.
All right. Never mind. You missed out. You snoozed.
I do think we figured out that Bill Root and I are the only 2 that have all 5.
Really?
I think that it's just the 2 of us.
That's interesting. I'll have to look at their registration and see.
Karen didn't come in until the 2nd year.
That's interesting. I'll have to look at that. Paul, you missed one year too, didn't you?
Yeah, I was stuck in an airport in North Carolina for one.
He was registered.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to be there.
He couldn't get there because he was stuck in an airport.
That's right. I remember that now. Yeah.
I was pissed. I'm still pissed.
Well,
still mad about that.
Still upset about that. But you'll find that we're still going to have an amazing entrance to the race like we always do. We're going to have the fires. We're going to have lots of really cool stuff here, and I think that the changes that we've made, I think, are a real improvement over what we used to have. So I hope that everyone else feels the same way. And we'll try it out, and we'll get feedback from everyone, and hopefully we can keep improving on a great event.
That's awesome.
If
for anyone who has not experienced the walk up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:15 in the morning,
the fireplace
and the fires going and everything, it is just kind of a surreal moment that is really very cool.
Very unique.
Yeah, something you're definitely not going to get it anywhere else.
No.
It's one of my favorite parts of the event, that's for sure. And I just like the warm feeling when you come in, and I just like the family feel of everybody showing up. Oh, our party barn has some pretty good improvements this year, too. It has a whole new floor inside now.
Oh,
it's mostly insulated. I won't say it's completely insulated, but it's mostly insulated. And so it's continually getting better. We're growing that part of it, trying to make things just a little bit more refined and a little more comfortable for everybody. So when you do come in off the course, you'll be nice and warm and got a nice level place to sit.
Well, and without having to fight all the spectators and those coming just for the party experience who aren't going out on the course, that gives them a better event as well.
Absolutely, yep.
Because I know you take good care of your spectators too.
We certainly try to. Yep, we want everybody to be happy, and the spectators here, if they don't know this already, they can get around the course too. They can get out and see parts of the course. It's not like some venues where you can only see one little area. Spectators here at this particular event can go out and they can wander around, and as long as they're not getting in the way of racers, they can kind of be part of watching what's going on and see different areas of the course and experience and see if they maybe want to try it next year, or they might want to say, okay, let me just check it out and feel it. I have to say thank you to all our volunteers again too. We got a lot of people coming out to help us out again this year. Awesome. Just want to say that while we're on here, and I can't emphasize enough that your footwear is going to be key next week. Footwear is absolutely key. I've been running around the farm. I was outside all day today running around, and half the day I have my regular, really grippy boots on, and I was sliding all over the place. And as soon as I put my boots on that have carbides in them, I was fine. No problem at all. So
good.
I really, 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 really suggest that you wear something that has a traction product on it of some sort.
And preferably one that's built in, because I know many people show up with, was it the
Yak Tracks?
Yak Tracks, thank you. And then halfway around the course, you find them discarded next to the wall, or, they just don't stay on.
They just don't realize that
I have a box full of them left over.
Somebody else's missing Yak Track.
Now, speaking of footwear and appropriate footwear, you guys are ice bug dealers. Will you be there? I know morning of is not the time to do it. However, on Friday during pre-registration, will that possibly be available for those who might need it?
Yes. Yep. If we happen to have your size in stock, you're certainly welcome to try them on and take them from us then. I don't know how much stock we have up there, but we have quite a few pairs still left there. And there's also some demo shoes up there, so if someone wanted to try out a pair to see if they like them, they are certainly welcome to do that.
So Sandy and I always run Journeyman, where we're not competitive, but Polar Bear has a lot of people who come out to be competitive. How many laps and who's going to do it to win?
Yeah.
What are your predictions, Rob? I think
it's going to be a fast course.
I think I asked you this last year and you nailed it. If I recall, you were like dead on with the lap count.
I think there are 3 people coming that could potentially get 4 laps in this year with the weather being the way it is.
Only 4. Oh, wow.
So we'll see. We'll see. Okay. I'm not going to name any names because I don't know them all. I know who they are. I just can't picture all the names right offhand. I don't want to name one and not the others. So I think there are 4 people coming, one of which is a woman.
Okay.
That could probably complete 4. There's a couple ladies coming that I think will be pushing 3 pretty hard. And I think that a lot of people that normally get 1 lap in will have a really good shot this year at achieving 2 because of the weather and because of the way the ground is and because of the way the new course layout is. I think they'll not only be able to get 2 complete laps in, I think they'll be able to get 2 complete laps in with very few failed obstacles. I've really tried to design the course in such a fashion that they can really have a good time with it. So we'll see how it works out.
That's awesome. I have to remember not to go out in a huge, huge group. Last year, we all had every intention of doing 2 laps, and we could have had we not gone out in a group of like 7 or 8 people, but we were having so much fun we didn't want to go any faster. We had more fun last year, and we got partway through the course, and it was like, well, we're not making 2. Let's make it a party. And boy, did we have a good time.
Well, that's great. I'm glad that you do that, and I love when people do that. And some people always say to me, boy, I think I could have gotten more laps in. And I said, well, if your whole goal is to get laps in, then you run by yourself.
You have to.
Or you run with one other person.
One person who can push you.
Yep. If you're trying to come out and just simply have a great time, find yourself a great group of people and go have some fun.
That's right.
And that's what we like. We like that mix. You have that 20 or so people that are really here to really, really test themselves, and you have the other remaining 80% of the people who are here to just simply have a great time and push themselves certain places. But in the end of the day, they're just here to have some laughs and have some fun and some bacon.
All the bacon.
Well, I'll have to see if I am willing to try out the downhill monkey bars. I did the 30 days of Shale Hill, for those of you who are not aware of that. Summer of 2015, I lived there for a month and did the course almost every day. And every 4th day, we ran the course backwards, which meant going down the fireman pole. It meant going down the uphill monkey bars and that sort of thing. And I never quite had the nerve to try it.
That's steep. I mean, it's steep uphill, but it's steep downhill too.
It is steep downhill. It is much, much easier to go downhill.
I'm sure.
And if you control your speed, it's really fun. And we will have hay bales down there. We'll have all that stuff down to protect you if you do happen to come down on your butt. You'll be all set. But I think that a lot more people will be on the bars this year than normally are.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. We're going to have a couple little challenges for you, though, too. You still have to do the flat monkey bars after that. And in order to get on the flat monkey bars, you actually have to climb up a rope to get onto the monkey bars.
Okay.
That's going to offer a little bit of a challenge for some people, because you can't start off on your feet. You're starting off from a hanging position on a rope. So those little tiny things are going to offer some challenges, but I think that people will like it. I think people are going to really enjoy it.
You get the rope, you get to the first rung. Does the first rung spin like some of the others?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The first one. There you go.
Why wouldn't it?
That's true.
I can supply many reasons.
Been asking the question.
Is the pond open? Do you think the pond will be frozen solid, or is it is the tire?
Oh, it's frozen solid. No, it's been cold here. It's frozen solid. You can ride the snowmobiles right across it. There's no issues. It's rock solid. So the rope traverse across the pond is open, and we're gonna have a good time with that too.
Yeah.
That's an obstacle. That I have to tell everybody while we're on this. That is an obstacle that you do not want to not be able to do this time, because your penalty for that is not fun. That's probably the most brutal penalty by not completing that particular obstacle. So if you're going to practice anything this week, Rope Traverse is it.
You know what?
Right.
Everyone who knows the course is now thinking, where the hell?
Well, we know that the log carry used to be.
Oh.
And Sandy would be correct.
Imagine if you had to do that log carry a second time.
Just to get out of the Tyrolean. Oh.
Yep. So that particular obstacle, you do not want to fail.
No.
For those who aren't aware,
Absolutely not.
the journeyman idea, it was originally from Sandy, and Sandy, thank you.
What we haven't told you, Paul, is that we've already moved you up to age group. You're not in journeyman this year. We only allow that 4 years in a row.
I'm in the,
so after your fourth year, you can't do journeyman anymore?
The 60 plus, the 70 plus? There's an 80 plus age group, right? I feel that way.
80 plus. And Nicole Sibley, if you're listening, you can't do age group either. I mean, you have to do age group, not journeyman.
I was
Pardon me.
going to say, she can't do age group? That doesn't sound right.
No, she can't do journeyman.
That's awesome.
We'll have none of that from her this year.
I don't know if she's listening or not, but I know she's coming. She's staying in my house.
I'm just picking on her.
Oh, of course.
Super excited for a new layout, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we will get lost, because I guarantee no matter how much tape you put down,
nope, I'm not
someone will go right by it, and they'll be like, oh, I didn't even see it.
Stick with me,
You probably will. I hope not, but you probably will. I will be out on the course all day, and I will try to keep you straight.
Yep.
As long as I can keep it straight, I'm still not used to it.
I was going to say, you'd be the one who would know better than anything.
So we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna take it out this week. We're gonna have one of my friends run the course who knows the old course forwards and backwards. So we'll see. Let him go out and just run it on Thursday and see what his reaction is. So after I hear that, we will make some sort of post.
Awesome. Well,
that's fantastic.
You haven't registered for Polar Bear Challenge. You're missing out. ShaleHillAdventure.com to get registered. Do it. There's it's one of the highlight races of the year, and has been now for this will be 6 years.
Well, this will be the 6th year.
Yeah. So
yes, indeed.
If you want to bring spectators, bring them.
Yeah.
Please understand that spectators are free unless they want to participate in the buffet, in which case they need to pay.
Yep.
For the buffet.
Yep. And they can register right that day for that.
Yes.
If they decide to come last minute. And racing is the same way. If someone's on the fence, and we may close registration down online a couple days beforehand, but feel free to come and register evening before. It's absolutely no problem, or even morning of, but you have to get here pretty early to register for morning of.
Yeah.
A little crazy morning
by 6 a.m. So if you can get here Friday night, last minute registrations are more than welcome. We can handle that and get you right in.
7 a.m. start again?
7 a.m. the first heat goes out. Yep, we'll let the elites go out. The elites go out first, and then we will let everybody else go out in a couple different ways. The start's a little different this year. We're not starting with our normal start. It's a completely different direction. So your start line and your finish line are two different locations, within pretty close proximity of each other, but they're still in two different locations. So you'll be starting one direction and actually heading out through one of our existing horse pastures. We're going to open that up, move the horses out of the way, and you'll be going down through there, and then you'll be coming back more of a normal direction, something that people will be a little bit more used to. But
okay. Well, I remember when we used to start going straight out through the over-unders.
Yep, we used to do that. Yep.
First year only, right?
That was our first year, yes. And then we changed it up.
And then you extended it and looped it around.
Yep. And this year we're going a different direction altogether. So it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to trying it out, and we'll work out all the wrinkles in it with this particular event, and then we will make that the new course for this summer.
Well, I think I can.
And you mentioned.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned earlier that you participated in the 30 days of Shale Hill, and we have not had that in a couple of years now. We haven't held it, and this summer we are going to have it again. And we're going to offer a 2-week and a 4-week this year. So all the details of that we'll put together and get that out there in the next month or so. And it'll be something that I think will be a 2-week event will be, I think, well received.
Agreed.
30 days is pretty tough, but I think 14 or 15 days is more achievable for a lot of people. And I think 15 days is almost enough to get you where you need to be. It's not going to be the same as the 30 days because we all know it takes about 20 days to really change your body. But I think 15 days will give people a pretty good idea of what it feels like to start turning into that new person. And I'm excited to offer that shorter term, and hopefully we can get some more people here to try it out.
I think I agree with you on the 15. I just remember once we got past day 5 where I couldn't even hold a fork because everything hurt my fingers.
Yep,
awesome.
But then after day 5, things change. After
pretty
day 5
rapidly.
or 6,
pretty rapidly.
it's amazing. It's just, and you can't explain it to somebody. You can't explain it. You have to experience it. And I remember when I did it.
Commented on me who said, "Okay, you were never a big girl, but wow."
No, you looked completely different when you were. Yeah. I mean, completely different person.
Yep.
You know, you were just completely different, and everyone was. Everybody changes, and like you said, you know, your day was day 5 or 6 when you couldn't hold a fork. My day was day 4. I couldn't drive my car, and on day 5, then my next day, I was completely fine, and nothing ever bothered. I was fine from there on forward. It's just funny how your body. Everybody's a little different, of course.
Yeah.
But your body just simply does it. When you tell it to do it, it just simply does it. And it's a great experience. If anybody's listening and wants to talk to me about that, please feel free to contact me in any way, either email or Facebook or give me a call, because it is an experience, and Sandy can vouch for it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime type of thing.
Ditto for me, for anyone who has questions from somebody who, you know, is not a highly competitive, top-of-the-line athlete, to get kind of an impression of, you know, is this for the normal Joe Blows too who aren't looking to podium at Worlds? You know, is it good for me too?
Yeah, and you know the answer to that. It absolutely is, and it.
Yeah.
And that's the reason for these little. You know, I was telling you earlier. We put up our first little cottage, if you will, or cabin, and it's rustic and it's all that kind of thing. But people will be able to stay and have a little bit more. It'll be a little bit different experience than what you experienced, where you were living with a group of people in one place. Now you'll be living with maybe one other person in a little cabin of some sort somewhere on the property. So you'll be a little bit more independent. You know, you won't have to be dealing with 5 or 6 or 7 other bodies at the same time. You can just be 1 or 2 of you. You'll be able to get away from things and kind of have some quiet time too.
That's
so
good.
It should be interesting.
Cool.
Well,
and we're really looking forward to it.
For Polar Bear. By the time this goes
Sorry,
out...
I didn't mean to get distracted there.
That's okay. No, but by the time this goes out, it's going to be a week until Polar Bear. So online registration is still open. If you go into the Any Spartans events, you'll find a discount code for, I think it's 15%, something like that.
I believe that's right, yep.
Yep, and thanks for joining us, Rob. I think.
Well, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody next week. It's my favorite race of the year, so I'm super excited for everybody to see everybody.
Yay!
Awesome.
Me too.
Yay! All right, you two will have a great night.
Thank you, Rob.
You.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for listening. Every episode, we're trying to bring you the latest news, the latest interviews, the latest opinions on OCR, especially as it affects New England, the New England Spartans. We can't do that without your feedback. We need to hear from you guys. You can reach out to us really easily via Facebook. We have a Facebook page for the Any Spartans Show. We also have the Facebook page for Any Spartans, and sending us a message through either of those will get to the right people. But we need to hear from you. What's working? What's not working? What do you enjoy? Again, I thank you for listening. These shows are a lot of fun to put together. We have, obviously, resources all over the place for you. Go to our website, anyspartans.com. Hop in our Facebook group and join the community if you have not done so already. And once again, I thank you for spending some time with us.